It is 2 o'clock already. Well, I'll be damned. Hello, hello, hello. I have not touched this thing in over a month, give or take a week. So long overdue. It's really all just one layer right now, right? Yeah. The rest of it is going to be just layer on layer on layer of different shades of browns and earth colors and sand colors and some really light weathering, because it is a fossil, but it's also meant to like be on display, so it's not going to be covered in stuff from dirt from the valley. That this is paint left over from the last live stream that has been in my fridge ever since. This is the lovely shade of brown that's on the fossil right now. Okay, well, the paint has dried the saran wrap onto the rim of the ramekin. So this has been in my fridge because I had every intention of continuing the paint job. That did not go according to plan within the time frame that I thought it was going to. And I'm pretty sure that paint is dry. All right. Well, that's okay. Probably wasn't going to use that particular shade again anyway, so it's fine. Everything is exactly where I left it for the most part. I've looked at some references since the last time I worked on it, and this is kind of the right color. This is kind of what I had in mind. I would like to go darker, but the darker I go with the overall color of it, the more detail I feel like I'm going to lose in that. So I'm going to keep it lighter. If I do use a darker brown or gray black or something like that than this, then it's really just going to be for weathering. Give it a little extra age look, like it needs to look even more like it's millions of years old. So we went kind of dark on the last one, and we weren't really all that careful either. And I really don't need to be like all that careful. This can pretty much be painted with a chip brush until I start getting on the teeth and the nooks and crannies, crooks and nannies in there. The only thing that's been a sore thumb to me on this project is the interior, the inside of the skull there. You can see there's still plenty of Plastidip and even some EVA foam that's got to get painted over. Do it eventually. It's not of the utmost importance right now. The utmost importance is just getting a little more dimensions to this thing. Before I go any further though, do I have anything I can try mixing this with? Not really. I usually always have something like wooden dowel piece or something lying around. I recently cleaned, reorganized a bunch of stuff, so everything is kind of just wherever it wound up. That's the best way to find out. Just shove a paintbrush in there. It's liquid. It's still paint. Still good. That's awesome. I did not know that. So this is acrylic paint. Been sitting in my fridge for whatever since June 20 something. Is August, middle of August, and the paint's still good. Still good. Probably gonna use it. I always feel bad using paint like this that I've mixed a bunch of and I've used it on a project. I've got these little capsule things that are kind of airtight, but not really, because the paint dried. But I had a bunch of colors that I made for another project. I think it was the saw cleaver, which is somewhere around here. And I tried saving it because I got a really cool rust color and I got like a really cool cast iron, like shark fin, dark gray kind of, and it looked great. Tried saving it, couldn't save it. Also, didn't know about this crap. Acrylic medium, like, you can make paint go farther. How did I not know that existed? Still mind-blowing. Not mind-blowing, but you know what I mean. Crap. The stream just went X. No. Couldn't resist, I'm sorry. Just be glad I didn't say Hoktua. Crap. Where do I want to start? Lighter. We want to go lighter. We want to bring out some of the shape of this. First things first, we got to dislocate his jaw. These Chicago screws held up pretty well. And even the little EVA foam / gift card washers I made to put under the head of the Chicago screw worked out pretty well. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but it merits repeating. I got the idea for making improvised plastic washers to use with EVA foam fabrication, little gift card washers from SKS Props. And whether he came up with it or he learned it from someone, doesn't matter. It's super big brain. Okay. Make it a little more manageable to work with. Let's do what I'm least concerned about messing up. Let's do the jaw, lower jaw. Do, however, want to keep I want to keep the hinge pieces matte black. So wow, I just had a total brain fart. Pardon me. You're gonna hear some noise. Clamoring of tools and such. I don't know why I couldn't get my brain to think tape. It was thinking everything else. Glue, foam clay, everything but tape. This will do. I know I've got other rolls of masking tape elsewhere, but I love having an excuse to use this thinner stuff. I don't remember where I got it. Probably eBay or Amazon. But like, look at it. Tiny thin strips of masking tape for when you're really sick of making your own. It's not up yet, but there's a video of me utilizing the self-cut many a masking tape strip, and it's annoying and tedious. I think that's fine. Just to keep some of the acrylic that I'm working with off of that particular part, and that's really all I need. I don't need to cover the whole thing. Overkill. This has been a blast to build and work on, especially like the first project that I'm going full-blown live stream and tutorial on. Tutorials are coming. They are. I'm just taking forever to edit. The only thing... okay, that does remind me. I'm not going to get the teeth any other color until I paint the teeth what color I want them to be, and I think I'm gearing towards like a semi-gloss black primarily, but with not eggshell white, but also not quite like desert tan, but somewhere in between, maybe a little lighter than this. Camel, maybe a little lighter than camel, for breaks in the enamel of the T-Rex's teeth. I don't remember the exact percentage, how much of the tooth compared to ours consisted of enamel, like how thick their enamel was, but I do remember that was a key point of a T-Rex tooth, was that it had significantly higher than average thickness enamel on each tooth. Should make it a point to watch these before I jump into the next one, because I've accumulated a layman's encyclopedia amount of information about tyrannosaurs in the last 6 months or so. I'm full of random facts. And my favorite one is the lips. Is that T-Rex may have had lips. I've seen and heard arguments for both sides. I'm divided. I don't know for sure. And on a creature that old, that lived that long ago, with no organic tissue to speak of, specifically from that animal, it's really hard to say what its features, what certain characteristics of its body actually are accurate. Come on. I should be cutting this tape instead of like ripping it like I would ripping tape off after masking off a room I'm gonna paint cut. Please chime in if the only thing that's visible is the back of my head. Because that is not the idea. Promise. Not this channel, anyway. Not this maker, anyway. I know this is thrilling. Hindsight, I do apologize for not waiting till I was off camera to do this, or doing this off camera to begin with, really. I'll try to go as quick as I can with this, with the lower jaw's teeth. Just to save time, though, for today, I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip masking off the lower teeth. This is just to really, I'm trying to avoid getting any lighter shades on this part. I'm obviously gonna have to go in here with a detail brush, really tiny, and cut in each of the teeth, at least on the outside. And I might actually be able to get away with just taping off this guy out here. Come on. Move down. There we go. Ah. Okay. Might be as good as I can get it. All right. Also need to make sure I don't run out of... Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't, do I? Because I got that acrylic medium there, don't I? Ha ha. All right. Camel I want to add for sure. Why don't we do... No. Just do camel. Let's just see what happens. The hell with it, right? I've still got that reference photo from the museum in Miami up, yeah? Okay. So yeah, I am gonna get a little closer to that shade, just because it's lighter and you can see all the details. Like, if I went with what I originally had in mind, like espresso color, oh no, I ruined it. I ruined it. That's just camel. I added way too much. That's just slightly browner camel. Oh, I ruined it. No. All right. We're just goofing around at this point. Burnt sienna? Darken it back down. And then some of this Plaid Effects black that's mostly filler. Ew, it bubbled weird. Come on. Out. Ugh. Ah. That's so weird, the viscosity changed. You'd think it'd get a little more liquidy, but it actually looks like it got thicker. This stuff's pretty watery. All right. It's just gray. That's just charcoal gray now. That's a cool shade of gray. I'll give it that. It's like primer gray with earth tone to it. Okay. Let's go back to brown. A little more camel. And I mean a drop. Come on. Come on. Ah. probably too much again. Yellow? It's got some yellow in there. Okay. That didn't do anything. That's funny. That's just funny. I don't need it to be darker. I need it to be browner, dirtier. It's like it just absorbed the color. I know how professional this is, okay? You don't need to. It's ridiculously lighter. I can't use that. Can I? No, that's so off. No. No. I should just put the saran wrap back on that. Because I'm not going to use it. Actually, you know what? That'll be really good for like a highlight layer. Like one of the last layers I put on. I don't think I have any more ramekins to mix another color in either. Okay, I'm gonna save you for later. We're starting again. Oof, that color is gonna be in that brush for a while. Yeah, this is a good palette, right? No, it's not. I need a container so I can add medium if I need to. I know I've got more lying around somewhere. Hold on. Got one. Okay. The closest shade of brown I have to the reference photo below is probably burnt sienna mixed with camel and maybe a little bit of yellow, and just to gritty it up a little bit of that brown. We're gonna start with the darker shade. Darker color? Yeah. Dude, I know what I'm doing. And if you think it's weird that I talk to myself while I'm working and streaming to nobody, oh, wait till I tell you that I forgot I was live streaming. kidding. But the difference is really subtle. There's not much between when the camera's on and the camera's off. I have a tendency to talk out loud. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. That's like a... It's like a clay. Needs to be a little darker, which is why we got that. And I think that's what we were missing right at the end. It's just a little extra dirt. Tone down the... Well, now it just kind of looks like salmon fish paste cat treat. Oh. More bird sienna. That's the answer. It's gonna put a red tint back into it. Yeah. Definitely an interesting color. Not what I'm going for, but interesting nonetheless. I feel like I'm just wasting paint at this point. It's probably too much, but I'm getting desperate. So close. I just needed to be darker. And I already made the mistake of adding a little bit of black to the last bit, and it was too much. Now I'm afraid of doing it again. Don't need a lot. A little's gonna go a long way. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. That's a lot. Yeah, put that same like charcoal gray shade into the mix. The darker layer that's on the skull now is kind of like weathering in reverse. I'm going to try to avoid putting the lighter color into the darker spots and just focus on the more pronounced spots and try to spread some of this paint around as much as I can so that some of this shows through. I could water it down. But I'm not going to. I think I'm just gonna kind of dry brush that. Oh, can't go back now. That's not dry brushing, but still pretty cool. Can only do one side at a time. That's okay. basically going just shy of where I stopped last layer, and then I'm going to blend the two. Except this one, we're going to go a little over. I'm also trying to avoid brush strokes, because that doesn't look like bone. So it's really just the same thing as last time, it's just going over the whole thing and blotting it. And then I'm probably going to go back in with an even darker brown again, and then just do another layer. And then they just keep going and going and going until I've lost count. And I've gotten like 7 live streams out of this one prop. No, I don't want to do that. This has been a fun build, but it has become a little bit of a labor of love. In the sense that I'm tired of looking at it. Probably not going to be the only thing I work on stream this week. I'm going to switch it up. I haven't decided with what. I'm waiting to hear back about some requests. And then I'll get into that. This used to look like this. And now it looks like this. Layer. No layer. Layer. No layer. I gotta adjust the monitor so I don't need to. So I can look at you and show you what I'm doing without looking over here while you're looking at me looking over there. Yeah, you know what? That kind of worked. It kind of worked. It worked. You know what? It worked. It's funny. It shouldn't have worked. It seems way too light, and then it goes on the model. Okay, now the trick is to just the same level of enthusiasm as the other side so they match. So I started going heavy on the spot that has a lot of flat surfaces, open surfaces that I can pull the brush across to get some of the paint off, but also make use of it. Yeah. And this stippling is just to avoid brush strokes. Especially using this chip brush, this thing would just, the whole thing would just be brush strokes. Same thing with the skull. I might be out of paint. No, we're good. This didn't start out as a light, dry brushing layer, but here we are. I'm also trying to avoid it looking like I just took my paintbrush and started jabbing it with some paint on it. But, I mean, you and I know the truth. And with just a little bit of layering, like, it's already so much more dimensional. Is that already dry? Oh, that's so close to dry already. I don't have access to a hairdryer today, so if I get impatient between layers, I'm out of luck. But luckily, this acrylic, some of these acrylics, is so old that they dry super fast. I am going to go in now while I have it with a smaller, not detail brush, but a smaller brush, and just hit up around the where the gum of each tooth would be. And I say would be because our T-Rex is very much past tense. And I'm not even going up to the masking tape. I am just filling in. I know one shade looks lighter than the other. It's because one paint is wet and one isn't. And there's going to be other layers of weathering and such that blends that together. It's not hiding a crime, it's just blending it. Therefore hiding it. There's some divot spots in the foam clay that I pushed up against the teeth after it was done, just to kind of make sure there was no seam between the tooth piece and the jaw when I glued them into place. And the way that foam clay dried actually worked super to my favor. I'll show you in a minute. Blend that in a little. There we go. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there are very small spots like that, there and there and there, and just these little low spots for when I go back with like a really dark, I guess I'll do like the whole thing earth tones already, so I feel like doing a brown wash would be a little redundant, so probably just watered down black acrylic for the weathering, and that acrylic is just going to go right into those spots and make that whole little detail just, it's going to look awesome. So I think that's all the color, this brown anyway, that I want to get on here. Hold on. Got one more spot. Sorry, couldn't see what I was doing for a second. Yes. Think really quickly. I'm just going to try. Get a little paint along the inside edges. Just so when you look through the other side, if you happen to be eye level with the skull, it doesn't look... Well, I mean, it does anyway, it's fine. I would love to do another version where the inside of the lower jaw is closed, like the whole thing is just one piece. That would be cool. I think I had originally planned on doing that. I scrapped that idea, and I'm glad I did. That's a lot of really unnecessary work that I would have had to do. And I like that the parts of this that you don't see are going to be a dark color anyway, but hold on. Let me just for... Oh, look at it. It's so cool. Why did I stop working on this? What is my problem? This actually worked out well, nicely. Crap. They're really nice teeth. And I don't want to get this paint on those teeth. No, trust me. I hate masking. And the only reason I get excited about masking is taking the tape off after you're done. Especially if you have a tendency to enjoy those kind of satisfaction things, then being able to take this tape off after you've done some trim work or detail work or weathering, it is probably in my top 3 experiences that you can have in this hobby. Is taking the masking tape off. Taking the... yeah. Ooh, feels so good. It's not quite in the same category as Savor the Peelies, but it's pretty damn close. Right, isn't too bad. I put the overhead camera right there for a specific reason, so I would stop getting my head in the way of the shot. But it still happens. It's probably going to continue to happen. Man, the gums on this side are a lot curvier. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. Looks like he's wearing a mouth guard again. Okay. No pressure. Okay, so this one actually I do need to kind of be careful when I start getting close to the interiors because I do not want to cover. I don't want it to touch up any of the inside darker shades that I've already put on. So like the plasti dip really far in, the black acrylic that's kind of more so closer to the outside, but then like right up against it. I don't want to have to touch any of that up. It's not fun getting all up in there. So also, I haven't completely ironed out a mount for this, but I will, promise. Let's get rid of those brush strokes. Yeah. This color is more accurate to the reference. Definitely a lighter chocolate kind of color, but I kind of like where it started more, just a little on the darker side. Darker. I don't remember how I held this last time we visited this guy. I don't remember how I kept from messing it up. Gonna try to save as much of this paint and the other monstrosity paint as I can. It's definitely not the more interesting shades I've accidentally made, but they're still cool colors. So I'm going to start doing some very light highlight work. So along ridges like this, and especially the center here and that, I'm going to start building paint up a little bit heavier so the color's a little more obvious on those spots. Kind of like dry brushing, but pre-dry brushing. Like, look. So I didn't put a lot of paint on, but I did stipple some paint on. But then when you spread it, you still get some of the dark paint peeking through. But you also get some of the dimension of that high spot of the bone there. And to blend it, you just go to town. And then by the time you're done with that spot, your brush is set up for dry brushing. And that is essentially the easiest step-by-step I can give for weathering and dry and layering and dry brushing. And look, just one looks better in person. I gotta adjust the white balance on the camera. I don't know if you can see the variation in shades of brown earth tones and stuff, but I can. It'll come up better on a camera, I guess. I don't know, but camera. I mean, like a photograph, so much as a video. Let's do the same thing to this side. Ah. I once read in a magazine that spit is a good cleaner for plastics. Blech. That's thumbnail right there. No, really though, I did read that a long time ago because of the acidic, the small amounts of acid in saliva make it a good natural cleaning solvent. I used to spit on my base in high school to clean it. Where are we at? Only at the 1 hour mark. I do need a way to hold this because this isn't working. I am so sorry. Ah, not long enough. Hold on. Stand by. Got it. Just stay there, my little friend. Act like you want to be painted. At first, I wasn't sure if I was gonna paint this back part here where the spine met the rest of the skull, but then I was like, it's gonna look weird if I don't, so started painting it. This is gonna be blended with the Plasta dip and the black acrylic though, so that this little bit here might need to be revisited later at another time. By doing just this little bit of layered dry brushing, we've already kind of begun the weathering process before the paint job's even done. I really hope the camera can pick it up, because there is a contrast in color, and it's a lot better than what's showing up right now. I don't know why. I have a sneaking suspicion. Hold on. Things have been rearranged in the shop since the last time I pressed go live, so maybe there wasn't direct light or enough direct light on it. Let's see. How's that? It's not much better. That angle, okay, that kind of gives it does it a little justice, but it looks, obviously it looks better in person. Hopefully photographs will do it justice, or maybe I'll do some white balance adjustments after the stream, but I mean, I dig it. I think it's a good start, a good continuation. Yeah. Oh, he can have a septum piercing? Yes! Ah, that's how I hung him to spray paint him through the nose. But yeah, you can have a septum piercing. That's fun. Someone do that. Someone make like an alternative or punk rock Tyrannosaur skull fossil with like a mohawk and a septum piercing. That makes no sense, but it would look cool. That's the point. Alright, just get a little bit of paint on the old undercarriage here. And I gotta get a little closer to these teeth, like I did with the lower jaw. And I think it's safe to say that's another layer done. Yeah. So I think the next shade will be even darker. The next shade's going to be... No, I'm sorry. The next shade's going to be even lighter. And that's going to be also sporadically dry brushed. Not sporadically, but you know what I mean. Like, somewhat haphazardly dry brushed onto the model. This brush still good? Yeah. I have to clean it. I'm a bad artist. Yeah, if you see me look at the camera and readjust, yes, I do also use these live streams to collect B-roll. A little bit of blending. And so a question that might come up as to why I'm going over a part that already looks like it's weathered. Well, so if you think the part around the teeth looked good with just this shade and the darker shade before it, giving it the effect, imagine what it's going to look like with an even lighter shade and how much more those details are going to pop with a lighter shade on top of the darker shade. And then what gives it the sense of, you know, realness, authenticity, is how those layers give it the illusion of being organic. Because like there isn't a single bit of this that's perfectly smooth. The whole thing's got pores. The stippling with the paintbrush is also giving it a texture. Every layer I'm doing that, if you've noticed, and it's actually starting to accumulate. And it's got the smoothness of bone, but it's also got like the kind of, I don't know, it's not completely smooth. It's not grainy either, but there's pores. It's porous. That's the word I was looking for. So there's just some slight porosity. Is that a word? It is now. Yeah. Hello, sir. Yeah. Let's see. Simply because I can't help myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to get much more done on stream today, but even with that little bit, it's one step closer. Hold on. Wait. But yeah, then think of a lighter shade on top of that. Same treatment, but then a darker wash over that for weathering, and then maybe even a second layer of even darker wash. Who knows? Possibilities are endless. Do-do-do. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can get this to work again. Bring you over there. Just for now. I'm not gonna take the tape off, but like, there's another step in the bag, man. And so, like, with each layer, a little more detail that I painstakingly carved into this foam is going to come out. It's definitely going to take, I don't know. I really want to blend these layers together, so I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 more different shades of overall, and then a highlight layer, so really lighter color, which I might even just try next, just to see how light I want to go with this. And then the lighter it is outside, the darker the inside looks. Duh. I might need to actually lighten that up. But yeah, I am loving how this is coming along so far. Not bad. Hold on. Can I line it up almost perfectly with the museum piece? That's pretty close, right? Yeah. Just trying to line it up with the photo. But that looks really close. I'll take it. The color's getting closer. I'm gonna stick with getting close to that. I'm gonna keep my teeth a little darker. But yeah, 1 or 2 more layers of brown and we're good. And then weathering and touch up and teeth and then sealing. And then this sucker is done. I haven't decided if I'm gonna work on a base yet. The model it's based on has a base, or at least has a post hole for a base. Yeah. But yeah, that's how we're going so far. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. And just thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate it. And probably going to be doing this again, hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's not a whole another month and a half before